Hey guys, welcome to another edition, Valentine's Day. Gotta get my words together. Valentine's Day edition of How Did We Rate It?
How did we rate it? So guys, we went to Cantina Lardeo. Woo! It was in Clayton, off of Forsyth. Mexican place that we've been talking about going to for a while. We drive past it all the time.
Yep.
And they had a Valentine Especialidades. So, Valentine specials.
Yeah, so about the last week of January, we was trying to figure out if we wanted to go out for Valentine's Day, and if we did go out, where do we want to go? So there was a list that we actually looked through, and this one actually stood out.
Yep. So they offered some interesting choices that we thought flavor combination wise we would enjoy. And it also gave us a reason to really go check out the restaurant and kind of get an idea and feel of what they would offer. And for the price point, it was a great deal as well. It was a 3-course meal, appetizer, entree, and dessert for $35 a person. So for the two of us, it would have only been $70. Now, as a bonus, you could do a cocktail pairing. So you get 2 cocktails for an additional $15. And they're paired specifically to the appetizer and the dessert. So to get started, I got the mango salad, which was my appetizer. It was mango field greens, spiced pepitas, and it was drizzled in like a honey vinaigrette. Antonio ate most of it.
I did it. She offered to share.
He ate most of it.
The salad was good. I got what did I get in?
He got the soup
Yeah,
option. There was a salad or a soup option. And it was basically a chicken corn chowder with some crispy tortilla strips on it.
Right. So the salad was way better than the soup. It's probably one of the best salads I've ever had.
Yeah, so it was good. It had the salad had mango and like sweet grapes and everything. It was like the flavor combination on that was phenomenal. Oh, jicama, that's what it was.
Yeah, you said jicama.
I did say jicama.
Yeah.
Okay. The soup was okay. It was just a standard kind of corn chowder, with some shredded chicken placed right on top. It wasn't like it was bad, but it was just kind of okay.
It was soup.
Yeah, it was soup.
Campbell's.
But the salad was really good. The salad was like on point. It was phenomenal.
Over expectations.
Yes. Now for the entrees, Antonio got the filet mignon. It was a filet negro peppercorn. So it had the black it had the black peppercorn, and it was supposed to be drizzled with a Dijon mustard
Yeah, Dijon
sauce,
mustard.
and it was served with
Garnish.
green beans and a potato confit. And in your opinion, you said that
So potato confit, scalloped potatoes, basically.
but they were the best part of the gist, according to him.
Yeah, so the all-star, the Batman of the dish was basically the potatoes confit. It was great, seasoned well. It had a little bit of crispiness to it towards the edges. It was great. Followed by the string beans.
Green beans.
Yeah, green beans. Basically, they were just cooked very well.
They were nice and crispy.
Salt, pepper, that's it. Crispy, not overcooked, not undercooked, and the steak.
So the steak was average. It's like I agree with what you were saying in the restaurant. It's kind of hard. No, it's not hard to mess up a steak. It is easy to mess up a steak. The steak was cooked to perfection. It was a medium rare steak. Like that, it was cooked to perfection. It was kind of lackluster. It just was a steak with some sauce on it.
What makes a good steak is the garnish that's paired
and there
with
wasn't enough garnish for starters, and it would have served better to have a different garnish on top.
Yeah, they need a different garnish. Like this garnish was just like, oh, let's just come up with something that's easy to put together. Like, wasn't no thought put behind the garnish.
So for my entree, I got I'm gonna say it funny, but I'm just gonna pronounce the English version. I got the shrimp dish. You had an option of shrimp, chicken, or steak. Those are the 3 proteins that you could choose from. I had the shrimp, and it was served on a bed of rice, and the shrimp were covered in a spicy mango mole sauce, and then it was served with whipped sweet potatoes. And we'll start simple. The rice, simple. It was rice. It had a little bit of a lime to it. It wasn't nothing over the top. The shrimp by themselves were grilled shrimp, and they were fresh as all get out shrimp.
Yeah, they were
like,
real fresh.
These shrimp were grilled to perfection. Now, the spicy mole sauce was actually pretty good. It was a little different, a little unique for what I was used to, but it fit with the style of the dish and, you know, what they were going for. So I do appreciate that. But my favorite part of the dish was the whipped sweet potatoes.
It was the Batman of the dish.
It was the Batman of the dish for me because it was a surprise. Normally when you get sweet potatoes mashed up like that, there's usually butter or some kind of sweetener, brown sugar or something on top of this.
Yep.
It had nothing. It had a couple nuts. But the surprise came that they mixed it with apples. They chunked up some cinnamon apples and mixed it in and whipped it in there with it.
Yeah, the potatoes
And
were on point. I loved them.
So my exact words were, when you can give me a product that I want to go home and replicate, you've created a phenomenal product. So I literally now have wanting to go home and figure out how to make whipped mashed potatoes, whipped sweet potatoes with some cinnamon apples mixed in.
Yeah, one thing I appreciated about the potatoes, usually when you go to some place and you get sweet potatoes, too much sugar, too much butter. The point of a potato is a starch, you know. It's a carbohydrate, but people turn it into really a
dessert.
A super duper dessert along with a whole bunch of carbs on the back end.
Right.
So I can appreciate how they prepared their sweet potatoes, and their taste real good.
Yeah. Okay, and then for our final dish, the dessert, Antonio called it a parfait.
That's
and
what
it came down to, so it was mixed berries with a Don Julio tequila cream.
Parfait.
And it looked like a parfait. Not that it was bad tasting. Like I said, it was fresh berries. Excuse me. And the tequila cream wasn't too bad. It almost tasted kind of zesty, like citrusy. It was a little bit on the thin side. I'm used to, I get it was supposed to be a cream and not like a yogurt, but I guess with most parfaits or with most kind of dishes like that, the cream is a little bit thicker. It wasn't liquidy.
Right.
But it was. I guess I'm used to thick like yogurt, like that holds a form.
Like McDonald's.
No, not McDonald's.
That's the only place we go for a parfait.
Anyway, I don't get parfaits from anywhere. I make my parfaits at the house.
We used to tear McDonald's parfaits up.
Yeah, 6 years ago. Anyway, his dessert was the churros.
Love them to death.
And the churros came with it was supposed to be a spiced mango dipping sauce and a raspberry chocolate sauce. Didn't care too much for the sauces, but that was just my personal preference because I think that the churros themselves stood out. These churros were like perfectly cooked. Oh my goodness. They were super crispy on the outside. They were fluffy and soft on the inside, and they were rolled in just the right amount of cinnamon sugar. They were mwah.
Yeah, I love the churros way more than I love the Allison's little parfait. The mango sauce tasted more like banana, but it was still good.
It did.
And we had a chocolate raspberry. When I tell you the chocolate raspberry was balanced perfectly, it was not too much raspberry or too much chocolate. It was perfect. You would taste the chocolate, and then the raspberry would slowly come behind it.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I love the dessert.
So my final things for you as well was we got the drink package. It was $15 extra, like I mentioned. The first one was a blood orange vodka mixed drink. It had blood orange vodka, strawberries, mint, lime juice, and it was all whipped together, and it had a blood orange on the top. And it was strong. So it was good. He doesn't like fruity drinks too much. He took a sip of it, but it was very strong because it was almost straight vodka in there. It was good. I ate the strawberries. And then the other drink was the dessert drink, and it was...
Yeah, what was that?
It was Corazon, Anejo, Bailey's, and coffee. And Antonio made the joke, it's Corazon Anejo.
Oh.
So...
English, please.
Something like that. Antonio said he thought that they kind of just poured the alcohol in there and then put like this much coffee on top.
Yeah, that's what it tastes like.
It was so
was it
they
Bailey's?
are.
Was it Bailey's?
It was supposed to be Bailey's.
It tastes like straight Cavazier.
So
that's what it tasted like.
one thing I did learn then, they are heavy-handed on their alcohol at this
Boy, they
restaurant.
heavy-handed. They got some hands made out of bricks.
Okay, so honey.
But it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I get it. So, for your first time going to Cantina Lardeo.
Yeah.
And getting...
is that what we doing right now?
Yep, I'm getting my Spanish
is that
game
what
on.
we doing?
Cantina Laredo.
Okay.
Okay. For your first time going to Cantina Laredo.
Okay.
And you got a 3-course dish and some alcohol, even though it was mostly mine. What would you rate them out of a 5?
So what are we rating them on again?
So again, guys, when we rate these restaurants, we're rating them on
flavor.
The flavor of the food, the quality of the food, not the quality of the food itself, but the quality of the product that it came out as.
Sourced.
How it's served.
How it's served. Okay.
Presentation is kind of a key thing, but it's also quality of how well does the food hold up, I guess, is how I look at it. Like, when I cut into my steak, was it cooked perfectly? You know, when you did the potatoes, were they stacked up and presented, you know, that quality. The quality of presentation is how I'll word it.
Okay. Next one.
So our 3 big things are taste, presentation, and price.
Okay.
So, based on those 3 things, how would you rate Cantina Laredo out of a 5?
All together?
Yes.
So I'd probably give Cantina Laredo, first time going there, probably, it's kind of hard, probably a 3.5, between 3.75.
Okay.
Give them that.
So I was going to give them about a 4.25, a 4 to 4.25. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed them.
Why is that?
He loves that question. Why is that? I liked that they stepped out of the box a little bit. Mm-hmm. It might not have necessarily worked 100%, but they took that risk.
Right.
And that made it so the dishes were a little more unique. And that came back to kind of that quality of the product. Like, yeah, it might not have worked flavor-wise, but they presented everything well. They made sure everything was right on point. Okay. And they provided a good product. And like I said, like, my mole sauce, it wasn't something I think to put on shrimp, and I might not put it on shrimp, but it wasn't a bad sauce. It wasn't bad shrimp. It wasn't bad rice. Just the combinations that they did, it made it very unique and very kind of special. So I give them bonus points for that, because that, to step outside of the normal, like, criteria of what you expect from a Mexican restaurant and provide you something like that, that takes guts. And it's clearly working for them because they've got a great following so far. So I give them a 4.25.
Yeah, so 3.5, 3.75. And I can tell you what I like. So I love the dessert. I can't even talk
churros.
Yeah, the dessert was good, even though the mango tastes more like banana. The main entree was good. You know, I really don't expect too much for meat, because after you chew meat 3 to 4 times, I mean, the flavor's gone.
Right.
So, you know, the secondary products were good, the peas and the potatoes.
Green beans.
Yeah, green. I keep saying peas, I don't know why. And then the first, or appetizer, salad, on point. The soup, a little bit left to be desired.
Yeah.
I guess my expectations were too high for the soup. And guess what? They use real chicken.
Yeah. So
So
overall, guys, between the two of us, Cantina Laredo is getting a 4.0 out of 5 based on the 2 scores that we just gave.
Mathematician, she's trying to do averages. I'm not even trying to do it all that. The main question is, would you return for a second visit?
Yes.
So you need to tell them that.
Yes. So we went on a specialty night, of course. They did provide the regular menu, but I would like to go back and try their regular menu on just a standard night, just to see what kind of other foods they offer on the menu, and see if they have that same quality of product and quality of service that we got the second time around.
And the server, what's her name, Danny? Was it Danny?
Dana?
It was not Diana.
It's Daina. Dana.
Oh, okay.
Diana.
She was
Diana,
cool,
I think is what it was.
Kept our waters filled, asked us what we thought
Checked
about everything.
Checked on us constantly, yes.
Great waitress. You gotta ask me would I come again.
Okay, honey. Would you come to Cantina Laredo again?
For a second visit?
For a second visit.
Yes, I would. I would. Second visit in the works. Cantina Laredo.
All right, guys. So now you know how we rated it. We want to know how you would rate it or how you have rated it in your past experiences. So let us know what you think. Leave some comments for us, and we'll be checking in soon to leave you another How Did We Rate It?